Welcome back, everyone. I'm Michelle Briggs, your host for Your Personal Real Estate. And today we are continuing our show with TJ Hilster. He is the CEO and owner of HG Home Inspection. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Michelle?
Wonderful. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, TJ, tell us about you and why you started HG Inspections.
Well, it's kind of an interesting story. I've been in real estate since the mid-90s. I was working in Hawaii as a sales trainer, of all things, for a developer over there, and just had this urge to come back to Texas. I didn't know why, didn't quite understand it, and that week I got a phone call from a former colleague offering me a position with a company with a new division, and I came back to Texas with high hopes and soon found it wasn't a good fit. So really being discouraged and just in a spot where I didn't understand. I was washing my boat, of all things, and I just had this moment of, I call it a divine moment of clarity, and home inspections came in my head. And I just thought, home inspections. Well, when I started doing a little research, the school that offers the licensing here in Houston was having a career night that week, and I thought, wow, what's the chances? So went in and I found out there was only 2,000 home inspectors in the entire state of Texas at the time. And being that I'd worked with inspectors in the past, I knew that the industry had some areas that could really be improved on. So the rest of it's really history. I got my license and started my company, and here we are today, 17 inspectors deep and growing every day.
It is definitely a need in our industry, and it is so important for everyone that is buying a home, even new construction.
Absolutely.
So your tagline is simply the best. What makes HG Inspection simply the best?
Well, going into the industry, I kind of went in with wanting to make not only the industry better, but have a company that really stood out. So the first thing I realized was we had to deliver the reports on site. Now that wasn't exactly easy. We had to work with our software company and develop a different type of program than what we had started with, and soon started delivering reports on site. Started using thermal imaging, which we were one of the first in the area to do that. Using drones, better technologies, and now that's morphed into, as our team has grown, we require our team not to just complete the 194 hours of state licensing requirements, but we also require them to do an additional 132 hours of training that deals with home inspections in a more micro kind of approach instead of a macro. And we also, with that, have grown to be the largest team of certified master inspectors in the state of Texas. So we're very proud of that. We have some of the best educated and one of the largest teams out there. So I think that's how we are simply the best.
I would agree. I mean, having that many inspectors on your team speaks for itself. It speaks for who you are as the owner and the training that you provide, and clearly the family feel, because you don't find that many inspection companies that have that many master inspectors on their team. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
And what are some of the items that you inspect when you're completing a home inspection?
Well, every home's different, but they typically, we're gonna start with the foundation, and we're gonna work our way all the way up to the roof. So what that means is we're gonna check every electrical outlet that's accessible in the home. We're gonna check the breaker panel, the service coming in, make sure it's adequate service for what the buyers need. A new need in this environment is electrical cars, EVs, to be charged. A lot of homes, that were built 10, 15 years ago weren't built with EVs in mind. So when we do an inspection, if somebody's planning on having an EV, we're gonna look and see if the power panel can accommodate that. We're going to check all the windows, doors, the whole structure of the home, just to make sure that it's structurally sound, the foundation's good, the roof's good. And if it's not, we're going to have a detailed report showing each item that's deficient and make a recommendation on what needs to be done to correct it.
With the recommendations, if you find that you may recommend the AC being inspected further. I mean, do you have conversations? Should a realtor call or the potential home buyer give you a call? Could they ask those questions for clarity?
They're always welcome to. A lot of times we're going to refer them, because we're limited with our licensing on exactly what we can and cannot do as far as testing an air conditioner. And if we see things that just might need a little bit of attention from a HVAC professional or somebody that carries a little bit higher license on air conditioning in particular, we're going to definitely refer them over to a company that's, first of all, reputable and somebody that we've done business with in the past.
Wonderful. What are other inspections that you provide? Because you're not only home inspections, you have many other services. So share with us a little bit more about the other inspections that you provide.
You know, most people think of home inspections as just a pre-purchase of a existing home. So, but if you're doing a new build, we do phase inspections, which means we're going to come out and check out the foundation before it's poured, make sure that they laid out the foundation correctly. We're going to come in during the framing process and make sure all the framing's done properly. And then we're going to come in and do a final inspection, which you typically expect. Another area that we do is air quality. Being in the Houston area with the humidity that we have, that's a very important test, because air quality test is going to tell you about mold spores, different allergens and things that are in the air. Also, we can add water quality testing as well. We test septics, wells, and then pools and things like that. Now, our pool inspection is a little limited. We're just making sure it runs properly and everything's labeled properly and it's grounded, and most importantly, safety issues. But those are our additional things that we offer as a company.
Well, that is wonderful, because all of those items are very important, especially when you're purchasing the home, because it gives you an opportunity to determine, I mean, are there repairs that are going to be necessary immediately, or if it's something that can wait. Now, how quickly do you have home reports completed after an inspection?
Well, that's one of the things that make us simply the best, is we deliver the report on site. Now, that's on our normal inspection reports. When it comes to air quality and water quality, those are definitely something that we send to a lab. We typically have a 24-hour turnaround on that. But as far as your general inspection report, you're going to get that the same day while we're on the property, when it's possible. Meaning if Wi-Fi is available or we can get it with a hotspot. If not, we're going to email it to you before the day's over. So a lot of times if you call the same day, we get out there that afternoon, you're going to get your report before 5 p.m.
That's amazing. It's great, because when you're in the option period, when you're under contract, you have a 5-day, 7-day, 10-day option. I mean, we were not too long ago, there was no option period. However, there was still a need for a home inspection. So it's important to have those, so that way you can see what potentially you're up against as a home buyer.
Absolutely. I mean, we have a big following of, especially when the market was really hot and we were doing 3-day option periods as realtors, that were calling us and we were getting the report the same day, and they knew if the property was for them or not. So it's good for the seller too, because if it's not for them, the seller can move on to the next offer.
Exactly, or potentially look at taking care of some of those repairs, right?
Absolutely.
For the next one. So HD Home Inspections, you complete your inspections 6 days a week. And your reports have a CRL feature. Share with us, what is the CRL feature, and how is it beneficial for a home buyer and a realtor? Again,
a big part of my company is separating ourselves from the pack, and we actually set the standard, because a lot of companies have brought themselves up to delivering the reports faster and things like that. The CRL is what really sets us apart right now. It gives the realtor and the buyer an opportunity to look at their report, go over it, and the things that they are concerned about, they can click on that option. They can click on that particular deficiency, and it puts it into a separate document. And that document will ask, do you want the seller to repair it, or would you like an allowance for that particular deficiency? And you go through the whole report. We have agents that do it in the kitchen of the house while we're still there, and it takes about 5 minutes. It creates a separate document that they can send to the seller's agent and to the seller that lets them know exactly where the negotiations are and where they're going to go from there.
Where it all begins
Yes,
again.
absolutely.
Well, is there anything else that you can share with us about HG Home Inspections?
Well, we I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, we do have 17 inspectors, and that it gives us the opportunity to do same-day inspections. I mean, what I mean by same-day inspections, as a lot of times we can do it the same day you call. We train our inspectors for hundreds of hours within our program and within INTRNACHI, which is the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors. All of our home inspectors are CPI with them, which is Certified Professional Inspectors, along with being certified inspectors with the state. And then once they hit their 1,000 inspections paid with our company, then they become certified master inspectors. So our team stays with us a while, and we work together real closely. So typically, if there's an inspector out in the field that runs into something they haven't seen, they can text the rest of the team, and there's somebody on our team that's seen it and done it. So it really makes for a great environment and a great report. Like I said, I've been in the industry since the early 90s. We've been doing HG home inspection for 10 years now, and I really think we have changed the industry tremendously.
And I would agree with that. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
what you do, TJ. We appreciate you greatly, and we'll be right back after these commercials.